was it 2022 tour when Van Aert was just on an absolute mission?
Like I didn't know it was possible to ride that fast or that hard for that long. And like when he left me, it's not that I cracked. Like I was watching the power numbers and it's just this slight uphill. And he's seated. I'm doing like 650 watts in the dude's wheel and he just rides away from me. I was just like, what is going on here?
What's occurring, bud?
What's occurring? Brought to you by ROUVY. Just before we get going, mate, let's set the scene. You look absolutely nailed.
Yeah,
Paddle taking his toll or what?
Well, mate, I had an absolute shocker this morning. You know, I sent you a video, 6 o'clock on the court. Sometimes it's 6 and sometimes it's 6:30. And I made a royal cock up. I was there at 6, set my alarm at 5, there on the court at 6, 6:01, 6:02. I'm like, this isn't right. Everyone's like always bang on time. And it was a 6:30 start. So I got half an hour before I had to. So yeah, it's 10 o'clock at night.
That doesn't sound like you, mate.
Mate, I'm always early, but when it's that early in the morning, to be early was painful. So yeah, I just had a nap. I've woken up about 3 minutes ago. But
because it's late. It's late at night. We're doing a late night pod because we got a special guest, haven't we?
Yeah, there is a big reason we got it's late at night. We don't usually do pods at 10, 11 o'clock at night. But yeah, we've got a very special guest, Mr. Quinn Simmons. So before we do get him on, I mean, we've spent a few years racing him. What springs to mind when you say Quinn Simmons?
His moustache and his hair, for a start. His mullet. Yeah, he's obviously over in America at the minute in mountain time, he called it. It's the first I've ever heard of mountain time. I was like, what the hell is that, mate? 8 hours behind, hence the 11 o'clock start. But no, I think I didn't race a hell of a lot with him until this last year, really, in Swiss. Well, I didn't do much of Swiss, then the Tour. But yeah, he races a bit like how he looks in a way. A bit raw, a bit rugged, and just gets out there and just smashes the watts, doesn't he? Basically. Have you done much with him?
Yeah.
He's been around a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think I did a tour, definitely at least one Tour de France with him. Yeah, he's like you say, a roar is a great expression. I think he's one of them, he's like an old generation rider in the current generation who just literally puts his balls on the line and sends it and deals with the consequences later. I think the one ride that two rides that stand out on my mind is that Tour de France stage when he was away with Van Aert, and Van Aert just destroyed it. There was a 3-man breakaway and he one by one just destroyed them.
Yeah, we'll have to bring that up with him because that was on my mind as well.
Yeah, we'll ask him about that. And then there was Lombardy this year. I mean, it just a monster ride. One of them days he was out all day. I remember seeing his power. I'm not sure what it was, and it was just mind blowing. But yeah, without further ado, let's get him on and rock and roll. What's occurring, bud?
What's occurring? Brought to you by ROUVY.
Right, mate. Today we've got a very special guest. Not the type of guy who likes to hide when it comes to a bike race. He's a junior world champ, a 2-time national champ, and one of the most recognisable riders in the peloton. Welcome to the pod, Mr. Quinn Simmons. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me.
One thing before we get started, we've been debating where the hell mountain time is. So we know you're in America somewhere.
Yeah.
Where are you, mate?
I'm in New Mexico right now, but yeah, Mountain Standard's basically the whole Rocky Mountains. So Colorado, home, Arizona, all there. Just the kind of central region of the U.S.
Right. I think I called that. I think I said Arizona, didn't I? Phoenix, around there somewhere. It's probably miles away, but it's...
Yeah, I'm like 5 hours from Phoenix now.
But thanks for coming, mate. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, first of all, what are you doing over there close to Mexico? Why are you... I mean, most people are back in Europe now. Are you just kind of chasing the weather, and are you at altitude, or what's happening over there?
Yeah, so I spent a month in Arizona just chasing the sun, like you say. And now I'm doing my altitude camp. I think similar program to most Europeans, doing 3 weeks before the season starts, but I do it here instead of going to some island in Spain.
How high is it?
I'm right at 2,000 meters, but a bit different to everywhere there. You can't get any lower. So all the training's either up or right around 2,000.
Yeah, we were talking before. So there's a few. We said what comes to mind when you think about Quinn Simmons, and we'll get into a few of the initial things that come to mind. But at the start of the pod, I think we just want to dig in a little bit to your early days. Who are you? Where have you come from? Obviously, you grew up in Durango. I think I said that right, Colorado. Yeah. So how did you get into cycling? Why? It's not a huge sport in America. So what? How did it all start?
Yeah, it might not be huge in America, but in Durango, it's kind of the only option. I think, basically the majority of all the professional riders, mountain bike or road, kind of come from Colorado or California. I think, Sep is also from Durango, and it's kind of just what you do. Growing up, you ride your bike in the summer and you ski in the winter. And for me, I wasn't the kid that loved riding my bike when I was little. It was just kind of something you did with the family on the weekend, and turned out I was pretty good at it, and I wasn't a good enough skier or hockey player to make any money, so I ended up riding a bike.
Now you're talking my language. Hockey play. You, I seen you guys play hockey on the Trek camp pre-season, and I've heard you're pretty good at hockey.
Yeah, pretty good might be a stretch. Probably pretty good by bike racer standards. Pretty bad by actual player standards. But yeah, Trek itself has a club that plays, and funny enough, the CEO of Bauer's a pretty big hockey fan, and when they heard out I skated, they sent me a bunch of gear, and about 4 winters ago I started playing again. And for me, it's a great way in the off season just to stay active, and basically until I leave for the training camp in December, my only training is I skate and ride my bike just a little bit easy. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I didn't know you skied quite a lot, because Joe, the producer, put together a few notes and said you came from like skiing or something over to cycling like competitively. Is that correct? Like when you're like a junior?
In Durango, the reason I'm not there right now is the winters, you don't ride in the winter, whereas you're snowed in and you're skiing. So you'd grow up, you ride in the summer and you ski in the winter. And my dad actually got into ski mountaineering and racing a bit, and went to the World Championships a few times. And then the last year he went was also the first year I was old enough to go as a junior. So we were on the national team together and did that. But it was always kind of in tandem with riding a bike. And, I never did that much, unfortunately, because as you guys know, by the time you're 16, 17, if you want to have any chance on the road, it's pretty much full commit. And I had to leave for the winters. So yeah, it's been probably since I was the last time when I raced was the last time I had a full winter actually at home.
Pro hockey, you follow the NHL, Colorado Avalanche, Olympics, Winter Olympics next month. You into that?
Yeah, for sure. Especially, the big Canada-US rivalry in the Olympics is, it gets you going even if you're not a fan. I think you got to put that USA jersey on, and then with the Avalanche on the tear they're on this year, it's kind of exciting. It's a fun time to be a fan, especially with the players they have. And I was already talking that I come back to the US after the classics, and assuming the Avs make it all the way, going to try and make it to a cup game.
I'm jealous. So I watched San Jose. I watched a couple of their games last month. I was over there.
You like it?
Yeah, NHL hockey, to have that on your doorstep. I'm jealous. I'm a big, big hockey fan. Best sport in the world. Cycling's cool, but hockey's it's lit.
Well, seeing we're talking winter sports, I'm a skier now as well, downhill slalom. I'm an absolute demon, mate. So, went for the first time a couple of weeks ago in Alpe d'Huez, which was strange. So when you're there now, then, are you on your own? Do you have anyone with you, like your missus or any of the riders, or?
Yeah. So when I was in Tucson, Arizona for a month, and there's pretty much all the American riders who aren't stuck yet in Europe are there, just because it's 25 degrees and sunny every day. And then when I come up here, I'm just here with the wife.
Do you train with Riccatello?
Yeah, he's from Tucson. So yeah, last month we were riding a bit together, and yeah, we have there's a group every Saturday with all the local pros. We go and race each other around and have fun that way. But yeah, now that I'm up here, I'm alone.
You skipped under 23s, went straight to juniors. Yeah, what was that like? Straight into the World Tour.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I was only the third rider ever to do it. Fall after Remco, and then yeah, obviously my first year was 2020. So when you start with such a messed up season, I think that probably stunted my career a little bit. I don't actually know that, but I feel like maybe it did. And yeah, for sure it was hard. I definitely did not know what I was getting myself into. I think, I had done some race the other American pros and, the pro Conti level guys here at the time, and, kind of measured myself up there and, thought I'd be okay. And then you quickly learn that the World Tour is a whole different game, and you get get your morale kicked down a little bit. But in the end, I'm glad I did it. I think there's a lot of people that followed after that. In my head, I kind of question, because as a junior, I didn't lose, more or less. Like, I was quite a dominant junior, and then you see these guys doing it who maybe have one or two wins throughout the year, and in my opinion, it's not the best. I think some guys can make it work, but for a lot of kids, it's just gonna make some pretty short careers.
Yeah, I think they might even be bringing a rule in, eh? I think just like you have to do at least 1 or 2 years, or at least one. I think. I might be wrong with that, but
that's above my pay grade.
Above my pay grade too. That's just for like the big guys in big teams. That is. By the way, I think you're the third person who did it, but probably the third person in the recent generation, I would say. Like before, like Cancellara, Pizzato, all these guys, I think they did it. But in the recent generation, yeah, I would say you're on the money. But I wouldn't say it'd be a bad thing.
No.
Because for every, Remco or Quinn Simmons who makes it, there's a lot of people who it screws. So it wouldn't be a bad thing.
I came in, basically having, I was 10% better than all the other juniors, and I still barely made it work. Like, I came and just got smashed. So of course, there's going to be those few super freaks that make it work. But if you're just an average junior or even a good junior, I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea.
The one big difference these days, though, even when, like with you wouldn't have, these days there's so much more knowledge out there. You can get hold of anything. Like, everyone knows how the pros train now. Whereas, even, 2020, 2019, it wasn't as like available, was it? And I think, look at our team with, Benjamin Noval, like, he trains like a pro, and he's still a junior this year, So I think it's, that goes a long way as well. But it'll be interesting to see what it does to careers, though.
Quinn, that's your early days. I mean, you just said yourself you were preparing for the classics. You got a super strong team. I think you're part of we were talking about different teams on camp just recently now, actually, and what different team strengths and weaknesses are. And we said with Trek, probably their biggest strength is if you've got to nail a point in terms of positioning. So whatever, kilometer 154, we have to be in the front. You have to be. And I think they're one of the best teams in nailing a certain point and making sure we're there in the key moments. If it's E3 and it's into Côte d'Or before Timeberg, it's like, right, there's one team who gets it right 9 times out of 10. But what's your, how are the classics looking for you? What does success look like? You're obviously losing a guy like Stuyven. He'll have a big impact on the team. But how does... Yeah, I guess what do you want out of the classics this year, and what's your role?
Yeah, I think, for me, I'm not doing like a full, I stay away from Belgium this year. I think, like you say, the team is so good, and with Mads is such a big leader and so many guys that support him, there's not really much of a spot for me.
No Belgian classics?
Not, for right now, no. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, the biggest, I can go to Strada as leader, and then I can also target Amstel. So for me, those would be the two biggest one-day goals, because I mean, to be honest, like you said, in a Flanders, we already have the team that's gonna 100% nail the positioning. They don't need me there. And when you go with a guy like Mads as the leader, he deserves to have 7 guys there for him. So there's not really that spot on the team for me, and I'd prefer to, maybe do a slightly different calendar and have my own opportunities.
I think after last year, though, I think like you'd be one guy that I think. I feel like you're the one to step up. I feel like you like the trajectory and like the way your career's been going. I feel like this next year is not to put any pressure on you, but I feel like you're one of the guys that's going to be like lighting it up really. So that's going to be exciting. But
it's the goal to step up. But I think I also, if I'm reasonable, if I just match last season, it's already a success.
Yeah, when I think about you, for some reason, I think of Von 2 and that chat we had. We basically rode the whole of Von 2 side by side, didn't we, on the front? There was a few G fans, and there was a few crazy Americans. Yeah, I'll always remember that.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Do you know what I think that's interesting from approach from Trek, because I think, I don't know, the way I see it is you got Mads, who is one of the, the 3rd or 4th best classics rider there is right now, but them 2 who are better than him, if we say on paper Poggy and Van der Poel, how do you beat them? If you could have extra numbers in the final, and I think that's pretty much the only way you're going to beat him, because if you go man on man, I think you're going to come off second best. But if you can have another guaranteed guy in the final, someone like yourself, then it's highly beneficial. But obviously there's a lot smarter guys than myself in the team of Trek, so they obviously know what they're doing. But I'm surprised. I thought we'd see you not in every race, but maybe throw you in a Flanders and try and have an extra man in the final there.
I asked about doing Flanders, and I spoke with Mads about it, and I think the way he looks at it is that on his day he can beat those 2, and he wants a team fully for him there. And I'm not going to sacrifice a perfect preparation for Amstel to go and do a drag race the last time into the Claremont.
And he warrants that, that role and that responsibility.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
If the stars align on his day, I don't see why he can't beat them, yeah.
I
think more so a Roubaix. I think he can win a Roubaix.
I don't want anything to do with Roubaix, so.
Really? Why?
The risk to the reward is like, I don't know, for me it's such a dangerous race, and it's so scary, and realistically I'm not going to win it, and I don't have the balls to go 80k an hour towards Arenberg to maybe be top 10, if you want the truth.
But mate, I can just picture it now, that beard and those flowing locks in the mud, like going over Arenberg. That's epic, that type of picture.
Yeah,
like that'll be on every kid's wall.
Yeah, it definitely speaks to me. I mean, it was one of the races that made me want to be a pro. But I think if I were to target one of the 2, I think Flanders would be a better race for me. And for sure that's down the line, but not this year.
I was always on the same boat, mate. I was more of a Flanders man than a Roubaix fan, and everyone would always be like, nah, Roubaix. But Flanders for me, just it's the same. I felt like it suited me a bit better, but also just, I don't know, there's something about it, like those bergs and the atmosphere in Belgium, and that sign on. What's the square again?
Where
it starts. Okay. Well, when we were back in the day, anyway, it was like rock stars, weren't we? Like it was unbelievable. But
yeah, it's hard to beat that.
The only thing with Roubaix, though, you say how dangerous it is. I reckon it's talked about as like the most dangerous race, but if you can pass 2 sections and you're in the front, and you're always top 20, top 30, you don't see a crash. It's just behind is dangerous.
Well, have you forgot how bad the start of that thing is? How about the first 100K?
He's been a DS for a year now. He's forgotten.
He's already forgotten.
That's what happens. Yeah.
No.
I'm going to do the same next year, mate.
Flanders is more dangerous than Roubaix.
It's like crosswinds, though, isn't it? Crosswinds are great when you make the front, but if for whatever reason you don't, it's just absolute chaos, isn't it?
Don't forget, we're working with ROUVY this winter to keep the legs turning.
Head to ROUVY and use the code WATTS for an additional 30-day free trial when you sign up for the first time. The code is valid for single monthly subscriptions for new subscribers only.
ROUVY is on a mission to bring the indoors to the outdoors, letting you ride real routes from around the world, all from your own home.
And it's not just riding. ROUVY can help you hit your cycling goals with a huge workout gallery and structured training plans, including plans from World Tour teams Lidl Trek and Visma Lisa Bike.
Plus, our What's Occurring group rides are live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. UK time, so you can train, ride, and suffer together.
Start now and get ready for the next outdoor season with ROUVY. Use the code WATTS for an extra month free when you subscribe for the first time. We were chatting actually before you came on for a little intro, and we were like thinking of races or moments where we remember you, and both of us in our heads we had the same. The first one anyway was I think was it 2022 Tour when Van Aert was just on an absolute mission. Like I feel like that was like the way Van Aert rode that race. It felt like that was, up until that point, that was the most impressive I'd seen anyone when I'd been there. What he was doing that race. And am I right in thinking it was you and Fuglsang?
Yep,
with
stage 6. And after like 30 minutes, Fuglsang told us he was stopping, and then it was just me.
And it was just like, he was in the green jersey, wasn't he? And like
Yellow.
Was it yellow?
Yeah.
And it was flat, rolling, like perfect stage for him, really. Like, and am I right in thinking the team had said they're not going to ride for him or something? So he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm just attacking. And how was that day for you, just to witness that firsthand?
Yeah, I mean, it was my first tour, first of all, and then that was the first day I had the green light to try and get in the breakaway. And then, I mean, you were there, 2.5 hour fight for the breakaway. And at one point, we kind of just rode away from everyone on this like false flat uphill with a crosswind. And suddenly the three of us were off the front. And I'm like, well, guess we're committed now. And you're there, and it's my first tour, my first breakaway in the tour, and you're there alone with the yellow jersey. And I mean, this guy he was treating me like he was motor pacing me. It was insane. Like I didn't know it was possible to ride that fast or that hard for that long. And like when he left me, it's not that I cracked. Like I was watching the power numbers, and it's just this slight uphill, and he's seated. I'm doing like 650 watts in the dude's wheel, and he just rides away from me. I was just like, man, what is going on here? And then, I came back definitely a little demoralized when I got on the bus after that, when you like really feel, that was the first time that like one-on-one, I felt like just how good the best guys are in the world. And I mean, it was insane just watching him play with us.
Yeah. If there's any consolation, that was the best ever until that point, for sure. But I feel like you're that type of rider now though. I feel like you could go and do something epic like that.
Like Lombardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, for sure I'm better than I was then, but I mean, there's still a long ways to those best guys. I think all I can hope to do is keep chipping off a few percent each year, and hopefully one day it works.
This is a bit off topic, but who are you closest to then out of like the Americans? Because we were chatting about this as well. Like the Americans are quite like, with the Brits, I feel like we're all quite similar. You know, the spectrum between us is a bit narrower, but with the Americans, it just seems like, you know, compared like you to Magnus Sheffield, to AJ, to Sepp Kuss, to Jorgensen, like you're all just so different. Paulus, and America's a big place, but
like I think you hit it right there. I mean, from me to Magnus, our hometowns is the same as going from Spain to Croatia or something, basically. Like, I mean, America's a big place, and everywhere is quite different. It's not just one little country like it is in Europe. And I think, closest, the cheater answer is my brother's also on the world tour, so I think I'd have to pick him.
Mate, you won national road champs in 23 and 25, so your reigning champ is you're obviously pretty proud to wear the stars and stripes, as you call it. Yeah. You going back again, 26, retain the title?
Well, USA Cycling likes to make it as hard as possible for a World Tour rider to win it, so they decided to put it right in the middle of Tour de Suisse this year. But yeah, I'll right now the plan is I'll do Dauphiné. I was originally supposed to do Swiss as my final prep for the tour, but yeah, I switched the program a bit, and at least now I'm planning Dauphiné. I'll fly back for it and then fly straight from there back for the tour.
So they change the dates every year, or they've just changed it now to?
So the first time I won it, it was the same date as everyone's nationals. So you could do Swiss, travel back, do it.
Right. Okay.
Then no one was able to show up because of all the altitude camps and everything. So they decided to put it in May, which for us is better. It's tough if you have to do the Giro, but I think if you're trying to get the best riders there, you assume the best riders are doing the tour. So it can't really conflict with the tour preparation. And for whatever reason, they decided to put it in probably the worst possible spot for the tour preparation. So we'll see who's able to make it this year. But yeah, it was in May last year, which, I mean, it was much better for us. But yeah, I'm not in charge of that.
Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? Just put it like when San Sebastian is or something, like, and then kind of ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? But
or even, I mean, do it like Australia and have us race early in the winter. We all come home for the winter, so, but yeah.
So the point where you turned, what was your first year pro?
2020.
2020. So did you ever race Tour California? No.
No, it was on my program when we made the program in December, and then 6 weeks later it went away.
Where is American cycling at the moment then? You haven't got a world tour race. No. There's some races coming back. There's Philly, there's Maryland. Where is cycling at in the USA in the big scheme of things?
I mean, I think like domestically it's pretty much kaput, but then you look on the other end with who we have in the World Tour now, and it's the best group of World Tour guys we've had since the Postal era. I think if you look the top five Americans in the World Tour, I mean, Matthew took white in the Vuelta last year. Matteo won Paris-Nice. Nielsen won a classic. I mean, it's pretty. Sepp won a Vuelta and is still one of the best climbers in the world. I mean, you look at the top five and it's pretty good. And then we also have, another 10 guys that are all quality. So maybe we don't have huge numbers, but all 14, 15, however many we have in the World Tour are quite top level riders. So in that way it's good. But then in the way of American racing, it's basically dead.
You got such a strong bunch of at the top there, the top guys. And then at the World Championships last year, we actually did a podcast before the World, and I was going, one nation to watch out for, the USA. Like if McNulty just won in Canada, and it was like, right, if they put their best 5-6 on the start line, they got one of the strongest squads. And then barely any of the top guys went. Why is that?
Yeah, I think it's I mean, if you've had a long season, you're tired. It's hard to make a trip to Rwanda. I mean, Matteo and Sepp did Tour and Vuelta, so I think that's a hard sell to do Tour Vuelta and then fly down there. And then they kind of built the team around supporting me, and I kind of sucked that day, so it didn't look as good as it could have looked. And you look at Brandon, just same deal. It's a long season, didn't want to make the travel to Europe, and your boy Magnus decided to just not come 2 weeks before or 10 days before, so we lost him. And when you we might have a super quality 7, but when 4 of them are out, we don't have the depth to find 4 more. And it's also not that we had a bad team there. We just had a whole team there to ride for me, and then I was really bad. So if you put the guys to ride and then the leader pulls out the race, it's not going to look that good.
No, you have the right to have a team around you, but essentially you want the strongest group to have numbers and have guys in the final. And if you said, right, we can have one guy to support us, and it's not like you have to ride the front or anything. You can have a nation with, if you put the strongest 5 on the start line, you could have 5 guys in the final group of 20 and really have numbers. But
you will see that in Canada this year, assuming we're all healthy and not hurt or whatever. Come the end of September, I think you'll see, the group, really good group of 7 there. I think that the biggest problem was just, we spent the whole year flying for races and being away from home and traveling from the US. It was too much for some of us to also then fly to Africa.
Yeah. I think it's similar with GB though, eh? Like we've always had a good crop at the top, but if it's not, as Quinn says, if the season is the season, and a lot of the times they don't all get there at the end. But do you remember Florence? I don't know if you were pro at that time.
No,
yeah,
you were in the under-23s.
Me and Cav rode the front.
Oh, you were riding, yeah.
Yeah.
So in 13 it was, in Florence, and mate, we didn't have any GB finishers. I was the last guy to pull out, and it was still about 70k to go. That was...
Yeah.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
That wasn't good times, that.
And we were on the bus, and they were... like the whole squad was on the bus. And we said, like, we were all packed up. We said, can we go? And the race hadn't even finished. We all shower change. Can we go? And they said, no, you got to wait in case one of you has dope control. So we're just waiting in the car park. Like, we're all sheepish, aren't we? And we started riding straight away as well. Like, the race started, the breakaway went. Me and Cav were riding on the front. The big boys. And we were all on the bus from a long way out, weren't we? But it happens sometimes.
It's bad. It's better when it goes bad with the national team than it goes bad with the trade team, because at least then you guys go back to the hotel and it's still fun.
So, Luke, it's time for another Visit Wales topic, where over the next few weeks we'll be debating our favourite things about Wales and Welsh cycling. And today is our favourite cycling calf.
Go on then, what have you got? You've obviously got something on your mind. I've got one. Well, I know already. I know my choice.
Whenever I think of a cycle, it's not really a cycling calf, it's more bikers go there, but it's Cowbridge calf.
Yes, that's my one, mate. That's my one.
A48, is it?
Yeah.
That goes towards Cowbridge. You turn off as if you're going to Cowbridge, but then you kind of come back.
Hill.
Is that the name of it, Primrose Hill? You go over the bridge, don't you? And then there's a petrol station. It's right there. And all the bikers used to go there, as in motorbike. And we'd go there when we, like, it was at an age when I don't think I was even drinking like coffee. I might have had a cup of tea and like a bacon sandwich or something.
Mate,
but that was class back in the day, wasn't it?
I don't know if it's still there or not. I'd love to think it is. But there's a few things that stands out. It was like it was a little courtyard where you can put your bikes. And then it was a proper like sweaty calf, wasn't it? Always surrounded in motorbikes. But then the thing that stands by me is there would be this woman on the frother, like frothing the milk. And it would just be like, so loud. And I remember standing at the kiosk like, what's this lady doing? Because we were only kids. No idea what she was doing. And every time you went in there, you just heard her just frazzling this milk. And it wasn't, you think of cafes and you might think we would talk about a cafe which was, beautifully made flat white and a, bit of bread or a nice cake, but it was like proper bacon sandwich, mug of tea.
Yeah. Well, they had some good cakes though, didn't they? I'm sure they had some big like chunks of cake that you could get.
Like doorstop cakes.
Yeah. But it was all about the bacon sarnies, wasn't it? Usk Calf, do you ever go to that one? I don't know the name of it, but it's on the high street in Usk. I used to stop there a few times with like, it was kind of when I was a junior, and Steve, do you remember Stephen Roach? The Welsh one, not the legendary one. We used to go there and we'd have Usk Calf rules. So if we'd have a scone or something, you have to finish all the cream, all the jam, all the butter. You just have to finish your plate, whatever you order type thing. That was always a nice stop.
Do you know the fastest cake in Wales?
I do, but what do you mean? Who? What is it?
Scone. So Cowbridge Calf takes the title then? It's got to.
Yeah, I think so. Because there's a lot of nice cafes that I've been to, but walk to them or go in the car. I think on the bike, that is... or down... what's the name of the place? If you go like along the coast, down Ogmore, and on the way back,
Back in the little lanes.
Yeah.
Dave B's owned that calf, yeah.
Has he?
Easy. Yeah. It's gone now.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Calf.
Yeah. I think Cowbridge calf, mate, for us,
Done.
does it even class as a calf?
Yeah. Mate, it's class.
Baffle
Proper
House, we
creepy.
should give a shout out to Baffle House. They're on the A48. Georgia North's gaff. Nice place that.
That
I met
is
him there.
pristine.
Yeah, I met him there at Christmas. I was like, mate, I hope you're paying. I hope you're sorting this out. You own the place.
Right, Cowbridge calf, big up yourself.
But speaking about representing USA, LA Olympics, mate, that's got to be on the horizon, like a big deal. Oh, actually, I'm not going to say what you said to me in case you don't want it repeated, but I'm sure you said something to me about LA Olympics when we were riding at Vontoon.
Yeah, I might not. I don't. If it's what I think you're talking about, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, I think LA. It's obviously a huge goal. It's I was on track for Paris and missed it with injuries. So yeah, of course. I mean, everyone wants to be Olympian at some point. I think maybe not in our sport. I'd probably put riding the tour over the Olympics, but now that I've done that, I definitely have a check mark, and then it being a home Olympics makes it an even bigger objective. So yeah, I think and back to like we were just speaking with the group we have, assuming we keep going, I think we should be able to have a pretty decent sized team instead of the American normal just having two guys there. So if we can bring a good team, and I've seen a bit from training in LA. I know what the course is going to be, and I know the finals. So yeah, it's something that suits me well, and yeah, so of course,
Hey, Luke,
home Olympics is hard to beat that.
me and Luke are gonna have to try and like get some sort of What's Occur in LA pod, just an excuse to get out there.
Yeah, you just got to come back
I
out
love
again.
it. LA's just the best. Yeah, I'd move there.
I was thinking before I did this, it's funny all the Twitter debates right now about people riding behind pros. The first time I ever saw you was I was a little junior and you were training in LA, and I chased after you and harassed you for like a 40-minute climb, and I still feel a little guilty about that.
Well, I would have been creeping, I'm sure, anyway.
Yeah.
So you probably did me a favour, not attacking me.
Did he have a beard like that when he was a junior following you as well?
It wasn't this good, but yeah, there was a little bit, yeah.
Mate, yeah, home Olympics, like you say, doesn't get bigger than that. But you've recently come out and said, I don't know if this was a bit of a joke or tongue in cheek, but you'd like to ride on the road until 34 or just before, and then go to the Winter Olympics for ski mountaineering. Is there any truth in that, or is it just a bit of fun?
No, I think, I mean, obviously it's a long time from now and a lot can change, but yeah, I think, I mean, first you got to go to the Summer Olympics, but to be able to go to both I think that's pretty cool accomplishment that not many have. And, the specific discipline of ski mountaineering that is in the Olympics it's the one that suits me the most. I mean, it's a 6-minute effort. And I think, I mean, if you bring a world tour level and world tour funding level of training into what's essentially still kind of an amateur sport in the US, I think it's quite possible to make that happen. But, I got a few more years of the road career to worry about first. But yeah, if I can do it and I still have the motivation, it's in the back of the head. It's definitely in the back of the head for sure.
I just looked at pictures of it. Explain what it is.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, in ski mountaineering, you have skins on the bottom of your skis, and you can go up the climb, and then you race down. And normally, a typical race would be an hour and a half, say, with quite a lot of climbing and quite some vertical. But for the Olympics, they do what's called a sprint. So basically, it's a few minutes up, and then you take a slalom track down on the race skis, and it's basically eliminator format. So 4 or 5 heats, whatever it ends up being. And I mean, for myself, for all out 5-minute efforts is pretty ideal. I'd feel a lot less good about my chances if it was a proper, like, actual ski race where you need to be 50 kilos and able to get up the hill real fast. But it's the same discipline that I had the medal in as a junior. And, I definitely have the technique growing up as a skier. So it wouldn't take too long to switch over.
Well, you got me thinking, mate. Maybe I could do that then after my last
And
excursion.
now that you're a skier,
Like
so
Bambi on ice.
yeah. Yeah.
Either that or curling. Curling looks good.
That's a sport. That's a cool sport.
Sweep. Get into that.
You gonna be the thrower or the sweeper?
I mix it up, just do a bit of both. Oh, be an all-rounder. Yeah. But anyway, we've kept you over the time we said we needed you for, so we will let you go. Thanks for coming. It's been a pleasure having you on, mate. It's thanks for your time.
Hey, thank you guys.
And congratulations. We didn't say it when Luke mentioned it before you came on about you proposing on the Champs-Élysées.
Hey,
Forgot to mention that.
Thank you.
You've got married?
We did, yeah. Yep. Typical, the cyclist off-season wedding.
Well, mate, yeah, like G said, thanks a lot for your time. Best of luck. Hope you're successful, not too successful. Leave some victories for the rest of us, but keep doing mad shit. I like this style. Head down, just send it. You don't always have to have a real dial plan. I think it's one of few real mad dog racers left in the peloton. So keep up the good work, mate. Us me immortals love to tune in and see it going down. So thank you.
Yeah, good on you. Cheers, mate.
Hey, see you guys. Thank you.
Well, that was a good pod, mate. It's going to test producer Joe's skills, mind.
He's at a true altitude camp. If you got dodgy Wi-Fi, you're out in the sticks, up somewhere high, 100% committed. We, up in Tenerife, we had our issues back in the day, didn't we? But yeah, for those, hopefully you've listened to it and you go, that was a great pod. But yeah, we had some serious technical issues. It's quite hard to understand and broken. But
well, it's great to have him on. So hopefully it's Joe can work his magic and it's nice and flowy.
Interesting bloke, G.
Yeah. Like we said at the start, certainly a character. And that's what we need in cycling as well, isn't it? Everyone goes on about wanting characters, and then as soon as they get a few, they're like, oh, what's this guy on about? But no, it's great to see. So a big year ahead of him, for sure. We weren't just being polite when you said that.
No, genuinely, though, I'm surprised he's not doing the classics. That was the one thing that kind of struck me. Because he's done a lot of classics in that helper domestique role, but I don't know, just to isolate it just to Mads from a tactical standpoint, where you've got a guy who can, you put pretty good money on him making the finals and having another option and being able to use the numbers.
Yeah, more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. But like you say, it's kind of like, you could still help Mads by being out in front and making those boys chase or whatever. But that's the way they see it, isn't it?
How did Nicky Terpstra win Paris-Roubaix and Tour of Flanders?
Yeah,
because
numbers,
Boonen was there.
Yeah.
Right off the back of each other. And I think to go man to man against Van der Poel, Poggi in Flanders, and even Roubaix to an extent. Actually, no, Roubaix is not fair, because I think Mads can go man to man with them. He punctured out the winning break this year, didn't he? But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they got some pretty smart guys that are doing some great stuff. So yeah, 100% back their decision. But that's one thing interesting. No Quinn Simmons in the classics in Belgium.
Yeah, Strada will be interesting though.
Yeah,
see him there.
Perfect haircut for Belgium though. The Quaremont needs to see that beard and that flowing mullet. It needs it.
Yeah, Belgium's loss is Italy's gain, mate. So
on that note,
all right then. On that note,
to bed. Ta-da, boy.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.